guys, another nice day in New York. Spring is definitely early this year. So, welcome back to part 4 of this Alway 3 swap Porsche 944. Going to get back right into it. So if you remember from the last video, I wasn't really happy with the whole spacing in the bolt area kind of thing here. So Ray taught me something new, and this is called a shoulder bolt. So basically this shoulder right here acts as like a washer. If you guys don't know how this works, this shoulder here, we would drill out this to match this shoulder here, while basically the base would screw down all the way in and, you know, tighten up, because that's what it needs. It needs a base to tighten up. So I'm gonna take off this piece again and drill it out to the diameter of this. I believe this is like 1/2 inch or whatever. And yeah, it should be perfect, nice and snug. We won't have such a long bolt here. So let's get started on that. That'll be pretty easy. Right, so now that that's done, we can now roll this to the car and get the answer you guys all been waiting for. As you can see, we have our nice new fancy jack. It's literally brand new. Just put it together, courtesy of Derek. So this should make our life so much easier. I know you guys watched it last time. Right, so if you saw last time's video, you would remember that we significantly decreased the value of my Porsche. So doing that, we made, I'm gonna have to lower this thing, but doing that, we actually made space for this super long transmission. So let's get her up in there. I might have to jack up the car even higher now. Alright guys, short answer, yes, she fits. So this bolt hole lines up, one of these bolt holes line up. I have to get up and see, probably have to wiggle it around to see light through both sides. But axles, look at that, this is probably the straightest. Look at that, look at that. There's literally gonna be like no angle in this, just straight. This is amazing from here to there. Maybe I can get you guys a better view. There to there, look at that, right there. That is just good. That is just good. See if you could see any bolt holes lining up. The top one I know 100% lines up. Oh wow, that one on that side lines up. This one on the top lines up. So both top bolts line up. Can we get a bottom bolt to line up? So alright, so it's a bit iffy unless there's a bolt hole here. So this one almost lines up with this one. Oh wait, this one is, oh wow. So if we push out the dirt out of this one lines up. So that looks like 3 out of 4 bolt holes that line up. That is pretty good. Axles are pretty good. Now, let me give you the bad news now. The bad news is, right, although axles and bolt holes 3 out of 4 do line up, the connector shaft thing, I don't know what you guys call this, it's too short. So you can see it's not even all the way over the whole spline shaft there. And if you look right in this access hole, it's not where the bolt is supposed to be. So if you see splines and then splines and you see in the middle section, that's where you would tighten up this bolt to hold in between so this thing doesn't slide in and out. Like, let me show you. If I can like slide this thing, I can slide it completely off this shaft right now. If you guys see, now it's not even connected at all. See? So this thing needs to be bolted up in this area, and then has to be long enough, get some light in here, it has to be long enough to reach both ends. You can theoretically run it like this, but that is not safe. You want to be holding on to both splines as much as you can, because remember, all the torque, all the horsepower from your engine, mostly torque, gets sent through this tiny little spline shaft and this torque tube. So that is a big must. So the only thing we need to do is adapt the axles and adapt the spline shaft connector. Well, other than that, 3 out of 4 bolt holes, I'm fine with that. I'm really fine with that. Next thing on the agenda is talk about the mounts. You can see, I guess the reverse switch is in the way of this mount, but I'll probably just be making completely new mounts anyway, because this little hoop mount is not going to do anything for me. So we'll probably make just straight solid mounts. Yes, we're gonna use this bolt hole on this side. That's mount number 1, and then as you guys can see, mount number 2 on that side. Looks like it's a nice space over there for everything on that side as well. So not too bad. It's probably just like a 3-piece combo. 1, 2, 3, and this thing is completely with us. Alright guys, both cardboard models fully marked up. Time to put this on the computer now. But we still have to make one more measurement. Damn, this thing looks amazing, just sticking out the back. So I take one more measurement, and that is for the connector shaft thing. So after I take that, well, honestly, it's kind of dark in there, so you can't see it anyway. So I'm just gonna jump to the computer work. Guys, next day here, and you can see it's taking a major turn for the worse. So since it's raining outside, we can't work on the 944. Let's go get a couple stuff done at Ray. Alright guys, made it back again. Mariah Metal Products. Let's get stuff done. Next day here, we have a Wrangler. So much want. So yesterday at Ray, we cut out these nice new plates so we can, you know, make our engine mounts with. Honestly, everything looks like it lines up nicely. You gotta bring out the transmission, but I'm gonna have to transfer the holes, so that's gonna be not too hard. I'll show you guys a special trick. Right, So for the passenger side of the transaxle, we have this nice piece of paper. We're going to be using these 3 bolt holes. I don't know how much you guys can see because I know there's like a shadow here, but just picture 3 bolt holes right here, all on the same level playing field. So now I'm basically just going to put this piece of paper up against these bolt holes and just start tracing them out. So by doing this, you can see, oops, try not to move it after you do it, but. All right, so I found that if you just rub your thumb on the hole, it actually traces a lot better. So that's all you guys gotta do. Something super simple and easy for everybody to do. All right, so one side down, just trying to figure out the spacer situation. So this spacer, it's an inch spacer, and it gives me enough room to plug in the reverse. I believe that's a reverse switch. So this is an inch. We have another inch here, and then like another flat washer, so I gotta measure that. And I'm pretty sure it's the same thing on that side. So, and we also need 1.5 inch long bolts because that's what works with this. 1.5 inch, 3/8, 16. So this is way too short, but the rest of them work nice. So that's basically one side done. You can see we have this lined up with this. That was like the hardest part. Make sure that we don't have any angles when we're going to mount it up, so that way we can just bend this nicely and just, you know, call it a day. All right guys, we finished up this side. Didn't bother showing it, but so I have this straight edge here. Look at that. So either they're both good or they're both off, but I try to match the angle of the open face here, so because when that's straight, technically just imagine it like that. So this is essentially how it looks. So they're both flat with each other, so that's the goal. So I guess now we have to run this up to the car and see where they line up at. Alright, so now that the tranny's back in position, I'm gonna have to take these mounts on and off and trim them. We're going to do a different method on trying to make these, but it shouldn't be too hard. So we're just gonna trim them so it angles up flat and I can bolt this flat. And then I'm gonna take another piece of aluminum, drill a hole through it to simulate this bolt hole position and make it long enough until it touches this plate while it's trimmed flat. Because if you look, the chassis has like dips and curves in it, so to get this right, it's gonna need to be a 2-piece mold just for now. All right guys, so we made both mounts mocked up for now. Got to take them over to Ray so he can weld them up. Make sure I took my pictures. I wish I had an aluminum welder. I could just tack them up myself and bring it to him so he can put the final finishing touches on it. But that's about it for the mounts. So still waiting for the shifter cables and whatnot. So that's about that. Also, Mike came in.
What's good, YouTube? Yeah.
What do you think about this big hole, Mike? What do you think about the value of my Porsche?
I'll be honest with you, I think the hole probably added like 5-10 horsepower.
I know it's weight reduction.
Hey, that too.
Because this thing weighed as much as like a Civic.
And you get a couple Ricer stickers in there, we golden.
Before I chopped it out, so yeah, this is, yeah. But you can see the trans, just look at that. It's just right up on there. So it's definitely needed. Definitely needed.
Trans fit better than I thought it would, honestly.
That looks so nice. That looks so nice sticking out the back. But yeah, that's just gonna give me my look, my whole. It's kind of small. Maybe I should like make it. I don't know, but we'll see, right? But that's it. That's how it's gonna look for now. All right, guys. As we wait for parts to come, only thing I have to do is to start messing with this shifter. Gonna have to start to pull apart my interior and try and fit this thing. So I'm just gonna pull off this mount because we're not gonna be using this mount. We're gonna mount it straight to the tunnel via the top piece. So let's pull this off. All right, so I just drilled and tapped these holes because there were some coarse threads. So I decided to put like an M8, something I can easily get like a wrench on, because I don't know how I would be able to tighten it with an Allen key all the way up in here. But you guys will see what I'm talking about later. So gonna have to pull apart this center console. That is number one, definitely. Because I know definitely it sucks, because I really like how this door, I blocked the sun a little bit. I really like how I made this little like pocket door. This thing is cool, man. The thing adds to the look very, very nice. So you can't really see. It's like the sun is like reflecting on it crazy, but it's nice and green. So damn, that sucks. That sucks. But whatever, I might probably use it someplace else. But okay, so this is exactly what it's gonna be. I don't know if we're going to trim this lip off. Not yet, I don't know yet, but well, I guess I'll just start pulling apart and see. Before you start complaining, it's not as bad as it looks. Pretty sure I actually complimented the interior with this shifter. Wow, still need to cut some more, huh? Looks like we won't be using our center console door. It sucks. Maybe I'll probably just modify that shape too. But sheesh, this thing is pretty big. Pretty big. The goal is to get the little feet right there. Get hooked up right up against there, and then that's gonna bring the question of where am I going to run the shifter cables. But when those arrive, we'll see. All right, so now that we have that cut out, I don't know if the reflection is gonna be too crazy in this clip, but yeah, so I have the base of this thing lined up now, trying to figure out where I want to drill the holes. But it's kind of weird because the tunnel has like this weird kind of like contour where you can see it's not flat right there. So I'm gonna have to work around that. I'm gonna have to get some spaces to space the space the shifter up. That way, you know, it's above the pocket the entire time. So honestly, it doesn't look too bad in here. It doesn't look too bad in here. Actually, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, so I'm just gonna line this up, get it close to the center as I can get, punch my holes, and drill it out a spot for this. Alright, and just like that, she is finished. Go ahead and install this little fake little shifter here with that. So it's actually pretty cool. Brings a nice look to this place. So I'm gonna try and, I guess, make something out of this. Still want to have like a little center console storage area, so that would be cool. But this compliments it. This thing is solid too. Like I'm shaking the whole car. So that's about it for this video. Definitely gonna have to cut this ring out so I can 3D print like a little like pocket hole, like a little cubby hole, you know. Put little small things in there, probably bolts and stuff like that. Honestly, I can make it pretty deep too, so I can put a bunch of stuff in there. So that'll be for the next video. So don't forget to head on over to unsystemag.co, get all your unsystemag needs situated. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Don't forget, never stop modifying.